Be say I'm player agnostic. If you're a dog, you were my draft pick. I got myself a dog pound. Your analytics might shine and gleam. Doesn't mean you're on my team. I draft players with potential to ball out under the lights. If you wanna be my queen, you can't be envious with a man's name. I scream because damn near every Sunday, Monday, Thursday I'll be shouting Puka or Cup's name. I'm so sorry if I paid more attention to Stafford stats than your needs. It's Rams house and that's a part of me. So if you can't put up with my geek, you're more than welcome to leave ramifications on another team. I might see you in my dreams. Lord have mercy, y'all. Hoser Too Sweet has been infecting me to a point where I just had to do that, and I thought I did a great job. Anyways, welcome to the Dynasty BS show. It's June 15th. It is the day right before Father's Day. We're going to honor all the fathers out there later, but for right now, I just want to say hi to my host, Brian. How are you doing?
My man, I'm doing good. That was, I like that intro, dude. That was hot. We tried it a few times. So I gave you that challenge after I did a little Brock Purdy Too Sweet, last time we did the pod. And I think you crushed it. You wrote those lyrics literally in like 2 minutes. Fantastic. You threw ramification in there with the collaboration, brother. Yes, that was great. Welcome back into the friggin' pod. So you all, it is June 15th. So you all might not know this, but we took a little 2.5 week break, but we had a bunch of stuff recorded I've been posting because I had to get some stuff done. But we're back in action. I have not talked about football, Smitty, in over 3 weeks. I haven't really thought about it, been doing a bunch of best ball drafts, but I haven't been paying as much attention as I would like. So I'm giving you the reins on this show to talk about whatever you want. We'll see how many times you can say the word ramification. We're going to find out how many times you can say Blake Corum and Puka and Stafford, McVay.
Dude, this is gonna be exciting, bro. Oh my
It's
god,
gonna,
that's awesome.
it's
Okay,
gonna be hot. So real quick, let's let the listeners know. Yes, so we got the Father's Day stuff at the back end of this one, but we got a cool little show plan. So we are in the heart of best ball season, everybody, and our Dynasty Pod will have some best ball elements to it because we are best ball fanatics. We love it, and I just don't want to put two pods together. So what we got for you is we've got OTA news and what that's going to mean. And we got a bunch of best ball stuff that we're going to be talking. So we're going to go in and out of best ball and dynasty in this pod today. And it's going to be wild and fun. And also, sorry about the rankings. You all might not have liked them over the last 2 episodes, but man, that's where we think things are going to be. Those are the wild ones. Those are the wild ones. We could have done scratch, Smitty. We could have done scratch. But you know what I say about scratch? F that. No scratch. How's it going in LA, Smitty? Because it's beautiful out here, and I love it when it's over 100 in Arizona, so I'm happy.
wow, you are a rare breed. You know what? Maybe is that how y'all really feel about the heat? Because I tell you, like, I when I think about like visiting Arizona, one of the biggest things that scares me is that heat. But if y'all are like used to it, cool with it, then I think that's like a really sick culture to have. LA's great. You know, we love our teams. We love what we got going on. Even though the city itself might be a little bit of an issue, not gonna get into that. But I will say this: on Father's Day, I want to remind people that specifically Lions fans, because I feel like if I don't say this now, I will forget later. Lions fans, the LA Rams are 100% your father. Now, we support you, of course. We love you. We love you with all of our heart. But please do not act like you would be anywhere without the draft picks we've given you guys. Honestly, you guys had a chance to play the 49ers. You lost. It's okay. We've been there. We try. We fail as well. But just want to remind you guys that you will never be a better team than us because you are not Papa. You are not
Okay.
Papa.
All right, Smitty. So before we argue, and we'll get off this real quick, I just have one little gripe with what you just said right there, is they wouldn't be anything without the picks they gave him, but don't forget you also gave him what's probably a top 12 quarterback in the NFL.
Wow! Wow! Top 12?
Why not?
I mean, I mean,
Bro,
uh,
look,
I
that
got paid.
system's hot fire, dude. Dude, Jared Goff, man. Like, I'm not talking fantasy. I'm just talking about, like, legitimately playing football. The guy is really good. and he's got the weapons. He's got the system. He's got the running backs. He's got the defense now. Like, I don't know, man. You gave him a pretty solid quarterback, but you got your ring. You got your ring. So that's week 1, right? LA Lions?
Yep, Sunday Night Football,
Woo!
week 1. It's going to be dangerous. This is the real Father's Day match. Poppy versus son. When the stakes don't matter as much.
Poppy versus son.
Let's
I can't wait for you to lose that football game.
real quick, kids. Get a nice one in. And I know. And the thing is, I'm sorry. I did not mean to do this, but there is a new documentary coming out from Netflix titled Receiver. Last year they did quarterback, which was freaking amazing. Now they got receiver, which has all the worst characters you could think of. They have George Kittle, they got Deebo Samuel, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now here's the thing about Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're going to be featuring his life during last season. And this is the thing I know about him. I love the kid, but I know he is, because he's from LA, he's a little salty about us, you know? And I know he's going to talk a lot of cash crap about the Rams. And I can't wait to see it because it's going to piss me off. It's going to fuel me. And so when I see that week 7 or the week 1 matchup, I'm just going to take what Amon-Ra says and whatever potentially in that documentary come out from Netflix. I'll just take his hatred and all the stuff that inspires him to be a dog, and I can't wait to see him fall flat on his face against Tre'Davious White. You know what? I'm getting too into the rival. I'm sorry. This is like a new rivalry to me, and it's so surprising because I love the Lions. Why are you guys being so disrespectful? God, sorry.
Because the Lions are going to go into week 2 1-0. That's why.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Did you heat it enough?
Actually, I do. This is going to be at a home game for them, right? So that means Jared Goff's going to do something. Congratulations, Jared. Guess what? McVay has a fantastical mind to where he knows. This is one of my favorite things about McVay. Wow, I already said McVay twice. This is crazy. 3 times now. He will know. He fixated on the part where he failed in the playoffs, and he will smoke that, clean it off, shave it off, and completely annihilate this time around. I mean, you guys should be terrified, Lions. You should be terrified. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna stop. So, yeah. Sorry.
You took enough time. I won't talk about my Cardinals today until the end. All right. How's that? I get the end. You get the beginning. All right. Let's jump into it. Enough about us. So let's talk some best ball before we start getting into some camp news, that type of stuff. So we are, I don't know, what, about a month into best ball season-ish, right in there. I mean, everyone's got their own, schedule, but really for me, I'm about a month into it, and I know you are because we just get going.
Yes,
I'm almost 100 best ball teams drafted already. You know my goal is a lot. Best ball is honestly my favorite thing to do in the world. So here's what I love about best ball before we get in. I preach on this Dynasty podcast about being player agnostic. You just did a song about it. I preach on this one about, tier-based drafting and roster construction. All that matters in best ball is roster construction, and this is where I get to be completely player in, call my shots, do all the crap that I want to do to my dynasty teams, which is not the right move, but just go for it and just build some wild builds. So, Smitty, how many best balls have you done so far? I think I'm at like 8 or 9 with you, or maybe 10. I mean, we're getting up there by now.
Yeah, I have to be at 10 at this point. You know what? I'm gonna say 12, maybe 15 at the most. But God, it's something about being on the clock every hour on the hour.
Nice. I'm gonna find us a nice like DraftKings or whatever site I want to do it on. We're gonna do some best ball tournaments. We're gonna do like 5 or 6 entries into these things, and I want to see what your teams look like because I love best ball tournament drafting, dude. It's so fun. So takeaways. So let's talk about 4 weeks in. What are your takeaways in best ball right now? So we did the best ball kickoff show. As we progress now, a lot of things have changed from when we did that podcast for me. Not theories, not roster construction, but I'm starting to find the sweet pockets of where I want to start attacking each build now in each round, whether or not it's top end, middle end, back end. But what are your thoughts on best ball right now? Like, what are you liking? What are you finding you can attack? Like, what are your takeaways 4 weeks in now?
Well, I have a pretty great understanding that if you go for a top a top end tight end, you have a pretty sizable positional advantage, which I know is pretty obvious, but you wonder with tight end scoring in most leagues, which are pretty standard to even 1.5, which is low key standard. Um, you wonder what is if there's even like a real like point to it, but I in my heart feel like there is, but I do not ever want to pay the Sam Laporta price, which I see is in round two of standard or even 1.5 tight end premium leagues, or even like the Kincaid at four, which I mean, I will do the Kincaid at four. At around four, I will do it because I do. I just. The Bills offense, yeah, they need Kincaid. So, I'm willing to make that type of price, but if you go even lower, if you can get Travis Kelsey in the fifth, you honestly in your heart should feel just as satisfied as getting Laporta in the second, uh, McBride in the third, and whoever else in the fourth. But you have to feel that if you're getting Kelsey at round five cost, because I've also been in a lot of drafts where Kelsey is pretty much drafted directly after McBride, which is an interesting take itself, but again, tight end positional advantage does matter. Oh no, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Hello? Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
All right, we're rocking. All right,
We're
so
good.
sorry about that. I'm not even going to edit that, but my bad. So something about the best ball season that I didn't talk about on the first kickoff show, but what I'm finding and where I'm trying to attack things, Smitty, is everybody wants to talk about their stacks. You know, they all want to talk about their stacks. And I agree. You really, to win, especially a best ball tournament, you've got to stack properly. To win a 12-team league, you can win without stacking, but you want to stack. But what is the most pivotal thing to me about every build I'm doing moving forward, is the tight end stack, Smitty, is so much more important than the wide receiver stack when it comes to championship week. If you go off with your QB tight end stack in championship week, you immediately create the positional advantage, and it's so much more important. So let's say like last year, look, Lamar Jackson and Isaiah Likely won me so many freaking best ball leagues last year. When you go off for 40 plus points as a tight end in week 17, that's worth so much more than a wide receiver going off for 40 points in week 17. It's worth so much more. And in tournament best ball, Smitty, I'm trying to attack a double tight end stack in tournaments where I'm going to pick the bring it back, the Doug Cassidy, bring that stack back.
Ah,
And if I can find the wide receiver stack that I want in a game, it'd be fantastic. My only problem, and this is what I need to ask you as a friend, asking for a friend. Trey McBride and K1 is a stack that I want in week 17 because I'm attacking that game. But I can't get Puka. I might be able to get Cup. But who the hell is the tight end that I should stack back on that one? Because I don't even know. Parkinson? Is that his name Parkinson? Is it Higby? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, what is it, Higby? Or what is it, Smitty?
okay. Here's the truth. The truth is I don't know. The extended answer is, well, Higby should be healthy by that time. But what I'm genuinely afraid of is Davis Allen did kind of spark up towards the end of 2023. We acquired Parkinson right before 2024, and the news around camp is Parkinson might be like usable, like in a real awesome way. So here's how I process it. Parkinson might be a first quarter of the season type of guy. Allen Higby in the middle, Higby at the end. But the question is, do you even really want to spend the pick on Higby?
I do. I do
You
because
do? Okay.
every
Now here's the truth.
single.
I understand like this tight end stack is super sick, and I want to explore that more. But if I were you to attack that game, I would much rather get Demarcus Robinson because he is at this point damn near completely forgotten, and
Yep.
he is just based off of 2003 and 2023 data, he is one of the sexiest wide receiver threes on any team towards the end of the season. Just saying like off of one season alone, he damn near broke out. Like damn near. He really had a great end of his season. He might have even won people leagues like in redraft. Not even joking. He outscored the likes of Stephon Diggs. But then Stephon Diggs situation, so that's not a big stat. But all I'm saying is, if I were you, just to be a little more like safe and certain, try to get Demarcus Robinson to bring back that K1 McBride stack. But people are waking up to the Demarcus Robinson situation. So at that point, I say Higbee. Higbee should be fully healthy at that point.
And I agree. So if you're drafting tournament best ball, it's just like, man, if I got the K1 McBride stack, every one of those options we just talked about are free. I just need to pick my poison, at least have one of them on there. Because Higbee, Parkinson, I don't even think Allen's really even being drafted, but they're there at the end. That's that like dart throw that actually could win you an actual tournament where it's like, dude, if Higbee goes off, you get a 3-touchdown game from Higbee in week 17.
Oh my god.
Dude, like that's how you win tournaments. That's how you win them, and they're free picks. So that tight end stack's really important to me. And tight end builds like I did. I went and looked at. I won a lot of best ball leagues, and I draft a lot of leagues, a lot of tournaments. Actually, I did really well in a lot of tournaments last year. But you have to have the tight end. You got to have the tight end. Like you are not going to win a tournament unless a tight end goes off in week 17. So regardless if you have the stack or not, you've got to find that pocket of value. And
Actually,
for
hold on,
me,
can I ask you a question real quick?
yeah,
So when you were drafting these winning teams, you told me that the Lamar and Isaiah Likely stack was the one for you. So what made you want to draft Likely back then? Because drafting Likely back then is kind of like, but honestly way better than drafting Higby now. So like, what made you go for Likely then? Like that's
um,
before we saw like the mind meld.
Smitty, I'm sick. I don't know what it is. Is I just can see some things sometimes. And last year, so I hope it continues this year, but last year was a year of really good calls and bets I made into the world. And it was, just in the Dynasty realm, like get Trey McBride, dude. You got him so late last year. Same argument I'm making for Luke Musgrave this year. And I love Isaiah Likely. Nowhere near as much as I love him now. Like he was completely off everyone's radar last year. And believe it or not, he still is off everyone's radar. He's so dirt cheap, and Isaiah Likely is still one of my most rostered players in best ball right now because I love attacking. Like if I go up there and get a Trey McBride or a Laporta, or I go get Njoku, in that fourth, fifth, sixth, somewhere in there. I like piggybacking with Luke Musgrave. I like piggybacking with an Isaiah Likely. Like take those shots on things that are free. But I don't know what it was. I just look at I just really I like JC. I like him. He's a better tight end than Mark Andrews. And to be quite honest with you, there's a really good argument that outside of Lamar Jackson, he's the most athletic person on the entire team. The dude's a freak. The
I
dude's
love
a
it.
freak.
I love it.
All he's done when he gets potential, when he gets the opportunity, is destroy. Like that's all he's done. When he's on the field, he just destroys fantasy football. And give me that in the 15th, 16th round, 14th. I don't even know where I'm drafting him, but I love that. So the other takeaways I'm having is I'm attacking tight end stacks, but then I'm trying to figure out where I want to find the wide receiver twos that I want. I talked a lot on the best ball kickoff show about those rookie stacks at the end. I'm still loving the serial killer BT Junior stack, towards the end of the season. I actually love the X-Worthy stack at the top part of the season. We'll see what happened towards the end. But here are some players that I'm starting to draft that I didn't foresee myself really starting to get this big of a player share. And actually, we'll just kind of rotate things that are surprising you. Jerry Jeudy is a very big surprise of me. I just got done trading him in all my dynasty leagues, and yet I'm drafting him in all my best ball leagues. He's perfect wide receiver two. I want. I mean, it's like, how many wide receiver twos are you really going to rely on out there? I mean, you get your T. Higgins, you get your Jalen Waddle, you get your Devontae Smith. There's probably two or three more, but after that, it's like, dude, it's a dart throw. Flip a coin. Just do it. So Jerry Jeudy is one that I seem to be drafting quite a bit. Is there someone that's surprising you that you're drafting?
Oof. You know what? Yeah, here it is. Just right off of what you said, surprising wide receiver twos. I am predicting Anthony Richardson to take a step up passing wise. I know he's going to be phenomenal on the ground. I know he is. And the question is the two on that team, because the number one is Michael Pittman. I'm sorry, he is. He got paid like it, and he just is. So the number two, is it going to be the rookie Adonai Mitchell, or is it going to be Josh Downs? Personally, I think it's Downs only because of his familiarity with the offense.
Yeah.
But honest to God, if you have 10 best ball leagues, do 1-1, do freaking 5 each. Like, bro, I'm happy for whoever that wide receiver two is, because they're going to be important. Because, I mean, honestly, like, just an NFL perspective, if you're opposing the Indianapolis Colts, you want to lock down Pittman. And that gives Adonai, like, time to play. That gives Downs time to play. And Downs going to go. And then there's also Pierce. I don't think I'm willing to go back to the Pierce well. Maybe for, like, the final pick in the draft. Why not? But it might be lights out for him. I want one of those two guys. I'm honest to God, at this point, I am leaning more towards down, but I am not mad at the Adonai Mitchell pick. I'm, in fact, very excited for whoever the wide receiver two is on that team, because I, in my heart, believe Shane Steichen is going to get my boy Anthony Richardson right.
I agree.
As a passer.
Yeah, no. But when you look at Jeudy, so there's the argument. Judy's a clear-cut number two. I mean, do you think Elijah Moore, look, maybe he's got the talent. Since he's been in the NFL, every offseason you see how many targets he had that were uncatchable targets. Like, he's like number one, so maybe they just start throwing the ball to him better, but he's a clear-cut number two. You look at Green Bay, you look at Seattle, like you look at these other squads. Who are the clear-cut number two wide receivers on these teams? Like, that's why I'm liking Jeudy right now, and especially in his draft position. Another player
that's amazing.
Yeah, another player that's really finding his way onto a lot of my squads right now, T. Higgins. I didn't expect to have such a player share of T. Higgins going into it, but I think the man's being disrespected. So in a super flex league I'm looking at right now, I drafted T. Higgins at the 6'10". 6'10" for T. Higgins. So let's talk about what T. Higgins has done. He has had incredible spike weeks when he's on the field. Like, he has shown week winning potential when he's on the field. Yes, he doesn't stay healthy. Yes, they drafted Jermaine Burton. Who cares? Who cares? Let's say T. Higgins goes out there and gives me 5 spike weeks, just monster spike weeks. Done. You're telling me that's not worth a 6th round pick? That's worth a 3rd or 4th round pick, dude. So T is a really big one on my squad, but I found myself drafting a lot of Brian Robinson lately. Lots of Brian Robinson on my squad. I've got a lot of Zach Mosses out there, but the players I talked about a lot, Isaiah Likely, Zach Moss, James Conner. Hey, have you been able to get Reed in any draft that you are in with me? Have you been able to get him in one
You know what? Truth told, no, I have not. I don't have a single freaking Jaden Reed share. I wonder why.
So here's my next little tip that I didn't talk about either. Is, look, this is best ball. This is where I get to call my shot, and I love it because I won't do it in Dynasty. But who cares if you draft Reed or a player? Who cares if you draft a player a round and a half early? Who cares? I mean, this is best ball, dude. Like, call your shot. Like, you know what? If the tiers fit and you can get some player in the back, draft him early. Who cares? Like, who cares? If that's your dude, go get him. Like, I think two things are going to happen with Reed. He's either going to literally be an absolute friggin' monster or a complete bust. And you know what? It's best ball. What do I care if he busts for? Like, I'm going to build a roster construction that's going to have other players that are going to jump in there. So, that's my biggest thing is like, who cares if you draft a player early? And my next tip that I don't know if I gave, but you hit it when you're talking about the wide receiver too. Go stack. If you have to stack your QB with the wide receiver 3 on your team, get the wide receiver 3 deep into your draft. Because when the wide receiver 3 enters your lineup in a given week, you're probably going to win. I mean, then you're like, oh, damn, that was a nothingness. Where, let's say, who's a wide receiver? Romeo Dobbs. He goes out there and has 4 good killer weeks. He enters your lineup, you're like, damn, that felt good. That felt great. He outscored Hill this week.
Yeah, Will Levis and Tyler Boyd. That could be something exploited, honestly. I love it.
That's a good point. I have not drafted Tyler Boyd once in almost 100 drafts.
I haven't either until you made this point. And this point was so good. I'm like, Tyler Boyd could actually solidify the wide receiver 2 spot, if he, any given week, which is great. Or the wide receiver 3 spot. I love it. I love that. I mean, but it's like, and you can get Will Levis late. You can get Boyd super late. I love that. I love that idea.
Oh, bro. There's another player I need to talk about that has just hit a massive percentage player share on my squash. Let's sit back and let's talk about if you are in a start 11, start 12 best ball. Deep roster, your second QB doesn't matter as much. Dude, I have a Bryce Young, Deontay Johnson stack in so many damn leagues, dude. Like, so if we look at what Bryce Young did last year, it was one of the worst seasons you could have possibly had as a number 1 draft pick. He had no weapon. I don't think Bryce Young's a deep ball player, a thrower. I don't think that they're going to run an offense that's just going to knock your socks off like, the Arizona Cardinals are going to run, or the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Kansas City Chiefs. But what I do know is he's going to get 150 fucking targets this year, dude. He is going to get 5, 10-yard, 150 targets. Give me 110 catches for DJ in a PPR. I don't care how many touchdowns he scores. It just doesn't matter to me. I'm stacking that a lot, dude. Like, a lot. I like that. What about you?
Just the standalone value is pretty great. Like last year, Deontay Johnson had spike weeks with random quarterback play. And I'm so sorry to call it random, but like Kenny Pickett, and then who was their other guy? Mason Rudolph. Like, it really was very inconsistent quarterback play from Deontay Johnson, which is probably why which is probably why the Panthers even went after him, because he can perform with just a carousel of quarterbacks, inconsistent quarterback play. So if he consistently gets Bryce Young, that could be a beautiful thing. I love that stack. In fact, I don't think I have it anywhere, but you changed my life.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a share screen here, Smitty, because I want to show you something, because Deontay Johnson is very important to a particular type of build, I think. So let's share my screen. Let's get on the sleeper. Let's jump into something. 57. Can you see this?
Yep, perfectly.
All right. So
Oof,
this is a stack that I wanted to show you.
Oh my God, you got 204. I'm so happy.
I did. So this was a flip up. This is a tournament I'm in right now, but I wanted to go get an RB earlier in this one and build the way I wanted to. But since I got this running back early, that's why this pick, Deontay Johnson, is so much more important to me, because I know I can get him around the 8-9 turn. And that's a solid wide receiver with a bunch of targets where I don't need to maybe go get an elite wide receiver right here. Like, let's say if I drafted DJ Moore there, yeah, that's great. But you know what? Maybe Deontay Johnson gets as many targets as DJ Moore does this year, and I'm getting him in the 9th. Maybe.
Can I be honest with you? Looking at this, your pick, I mean, I'm trying my damnedest not to be biased. You smoked this pick so hard to where, would you really have wanted Andrews more? And Kincaid, that's actually a real great question. But Nico, which you managed to get anyways. You managed to get Nico Collins anyways after drafting Kyron Williams. I mean, the turn is such a fantastic spot to be.
I
Like,
love it. I love it. You can control your roster construction so much. I love being on the turn for best ball drafts. But I would have drafted Kincaid right here over Nico if he fell. But then I went and got Pitts. But here's the cool thing. So this is a total tournament style team right here. Got my running backs to smash. Got my tight end, which hopefully steps up. But then I went this a 1 QB start 9. So I got A-Rich, stacked him with Pittman, but then I came down here and I got Josh Downs to stack as the wide receiver 2, 3, somewhere in there. So, if he enters my lineup, that's awesome. But the reality is if I'm in a 1 QB league, my whole entire team is based around A-Rich right now. So why would I not go all in on him? Why not? It's a tournament, dude. If I don't place, who cares? And then there's my boy right there, 11-2. Jerry Jeudy at the 11 frigging 2. Sign me up.
Go after Jaleel.
Yeah. Sign me up. All right. Anything else you want to do on best ball before we get rocking and rolling here?
No, I just want to let everyone know that they should be having fun with these.
All right. My screen share isn't on anymore, right?
No, it's not. You're good.
All right. Perfect. All right. Let's rock, man. You got the mic. They're going to host this bad boy. Let's talk about the real nuts and bolts. Thank you for dealing with the intro and the best ball. Hopefully you guys like it, but now we're in Dynasty. Let's talk about news from all the camps around here. So I'm going to let you just continue to fire questions at me, and you're just going to get the hardcore reaction because I haven't been paying attention to camp news, man. The reason why is camp news is camp news. Coach talk is coach talk. Like, it distracts me a little bit where I start drafting players I shouldn't draft, and especially when I get in a redraft, I start drafting these young players, and I'm like, man, like, the studs are the studs, the vets are the vets. Like, you can't let camp news get in there too much, but find the needle in the hay with all of the talk we're about ready to give you. We're going to be wrong on so many things we're about ready to talk about because this isn't our ideas, this is B-Writer's ideas. Find the needle in the haystack. See through all the BS and find your players. And maybe in a draft, take a shot on one of them, 2 of them. Don't go all in on hype for everybody. That's just going to recipe for disaster. All right, Smitty, host this up. You got the mic. Let's go.
Look, I am so thankful for that introduction. So, guys, I just want to let you all know I am very obsessed with news from OTAs because it's like the period of the time where it's like the period of the year where these teams drafted the rookies, so now what are they doing? But we have to realize that they're doing this in shorts. They're doing this without really any pads, and plus for a lot of veteran players, this is an optional period of time. So I gathered 10 things I thought would be fun to 10 headlines I thought would be fun to talk about, and maybe we can have some actionable advice on it or not. I love this exercise because I'm so glad that Brian started this off by saying, hey, look, take this with a grain of salt because this is not, it's not the most accurate thing. Whatever. Let's just get right into it, guys.
I got a good example.
Okay.
Last year, Drake London, OTA conversations. Their Smith's offense.
Oh my God! I actually completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that.
I didn't. I didn't. There's a reason I'm giving this advice.
Okay, yeah. So this is gonna be fun. 10 articles I gathered from the past month or so of OTAs. Just a little bit of context. OTAs has now recently started becoming mandatory, but for the most part of where I got these headlines from, they weren't. Okay, so first one. I had to start the Los Angeles Rams. Listen, Kyron Williams pretty immediately in the OTA process has gotten a foot injury. So he has not been out there. He's been trying to nurse it. He's been taking care of it. In fact, he came up, he's out there recently. He's now, this was his first kind of full week of doing this OTA practice. In his absence, Blake Corum has been practicing with the ones, which is kind of obvious. The Rams running back stable is not the sexiest, but Corum, just considering what he's done in college, he has earned the chance to play with the ones, and he has been. So, talking on Blake Corum here, filling in for Kyron Williams, who just recently now came back because of his foot injury. I just want to. I'm sorry. I love this team so much. I just have to say this now. For those who don't know, Blake Corum was particularly drafted in the third round, which was kind of early in my opinion, but he was drafted to basically be an exact model of Kyron Williams. I mean, his build is not necessarily a workhorse build. His speed is certainly not workhorse speed, but we can say all these exact same things about Kyron Williams to where the idea with drafting Corum was to basically get Kyron. So with that being said, I think he is the hands down sexiest handcuff in the entire NFL as far as running backs go. I have personally, and I don't like this price because I think it's a bit high because it's exactly what other people have paid for him. I have personally been shitting out 2,025 seconds for this man for every team I have Kyron Williams in if because Kyron Williams is now injury prone, we now can give him that title. But I'm terrified that if he falls apart, whoever the heck else has Blake Corum will get fantasy gold. Here's the risk in giving up that 25 second for those who have Kyron. 2025 is looking like a robust running back class. So with that 2025 second, you surely can get whoever the Rams draft at running back next year because they will, right? And for a robust class, it's like you're asking for it. So here's my advice. If you have Kyron Williams, get Corum, period, please. Because he had valuable practice time with the ones to where he practically is the guy. So if you have Kyron and you plan on competing in 2024, please get Corum, pay up if you have to. If you have Kyron and you're not planning on competing, sell Kyron immediately for whatever you can get. And that's my, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rant on that, but that's my advice on the Corum news.
Oh, it's okay, because I'm going to take the mic when we talk about the K1 on the last part of here. But,
Okay.
All right, so, here's the thing. So, how do I not want to get you irritated right now? Let me find a polite way of saying this. So, I have been very vocal about pivot off of 204. And it's not that I don't think he's going to smash this year. It's his price can only go down. I mean, he is really up there right now. But this goes into my hatred of running backs because the problem with this is any injury, dude, it doesn't even matter like what time of year it is, like affects you. So training camp, you get injured. All right, so the third round running back we just got is taking reps with the first and looks really friggin' good. You don't think he's going to work his way out of the field more than if 204 was just there the whole time and he didn't work it with the ones as much and he was just working with the twos? Because you smash with the twos and it's like, okay, you smash with the ones, you're going to find your way out of the field. So I agree with you. I think Corum's a great handcuff. I think it's actually a really good handcuff. In fact, I would prefer to actually go sell Kyron 204 and then go buy Corum is what I would prefer to do because I think he's going to have a part in the offense. That's exactly what I would do. But
That's a smart move, honestly.
Yeah, Corum can smash, man. Like, look at that is the best running. I mean, look at you got Kyle Shanahan, you got McVay. Like outside of that, I mean, yeah, we could talk about the boys down in Miami, but they're running the Shanahan scheme. Those holes are open so big they just run right through them. So you don't need the speed, dude. You don't need the speed. What you need is the vision, and that's what Corum's got. And you need the power to be able to be a goal line back, and that's what he's got as well too. So I like the trade. So the one thing I want to say, so I pulled up the trade you just did in Royal Rumble in one of our leagues.
Okay, and that's the one where I paid the absolute most. Okay, all right.
I don't think you did. I actually like the trade. So Pop Douglas in a 2025 second, which is your own second, for Blake Corum and $1 a fat, whatever on the fat. This is a league you're contending in, right? I haven't pulled up your starting roster. I looked at it a week ago.
I mean, I'm contending. Will I win is a question, but I am contending.
Okay. This is a good trade, dude. I don't really care about Pop Douglas in fantasy football or in Dynasty right now. Is he going to have his place and time in the sun? For sure. He's the throw-in piece. I spend my entire life on this pod talking about go get the throw-in piece that could do something in some games. Perfect. Perfect throwing
I
piece.
actually threw him in because of you.
Nice. Well, I mean, get the throwing piece. Don't give the throwing piece. Sorry. Um,
No, yeah, I threw him
get
in
it.
because
You
yeah,
get it.
because
You
that was
get
your
the
advice
something
with
that no
Pop.
one wants value, and you're like, oh crap, I got 2 games out of them.
Yeah.
But look, so if we think about next year's draft class, it is looking a lot better on the running back side. Quarterbacks look a little lighter. We're going to find out on wide receivers. They're going to come and go, but look, there's not a Marv out there that we're talking about right now for next year. There's some solid, good receivers. But if you look at Corum, if you don't have 10 really good wide receivers come out of the draft this year and you have 3, like a traditional year, Blake Corum is a first round draft pick of rookie draft classes. So I think giving up a second in a class that isn't as deep next year, I don't think that's a bad thing. But the reality of this whole mix is, yes, you gave up your second before training camp for a running back, which I never want to do. But I'll do it for the handcuff. What difference does it make if he gets injured? I got the other guy. So I don't have to worry about the injury as much there. But here's why I like to trade Smitty. Do you know how easy it is to recoup a second round draft pick in Dynasty football? Like, if things just don't go well, you'll be just fine with your draft picks, and you'll probably end up selling 2 or 4 off that roster. And you've got Corum, who I do believe is, I mean, look, 2-year outlook, he's going to get his touches. I mean, I'd love to say he's the future, but you never know in the running back spot. So I like the trade. But I would buy the hype on this one, which is why it would affect me drafting and redraft, because this is like the #1 red alert. Like, if you go 0 RB and this is not accurate and Corum is not as good, you just killed yourself, dude. Jaylen Warren is a really good example of that last year. And look, at Jaylen Warren's going to have a good part of the offense this year, but you hurt, man. You went 0 RB with Jaylen Warren last year. It hurt for the first half of the season. You probably didn't make the playoffs.
True. Well, possibly. I have to look back at how the price of Warren, but you're right. Yeah, let's move on to the second piece of news, which is kind of like a twofer. So, both Sam Darnold and Jacoby Brissett for Minnesota Vikings and New England Patriots, they are pretty comfortably the wide receiver. I mean, the quarterback one, which means J.J. McCarthy, the rookie in Minnesota, Drake May, the rookie in New England, which there is good reports on Drake May, but they're not going to start the season as far as right now. You know, like when the mandatory stuff happens, maybe things change. But as of right now, and more particularly for Darnold, Jacoby Brissett and Darnold are the starting quarterbacks. So how do you feel about that?
You know how I feel about that. I think the first thing you probably thought of when you read this article is Brian's been talking about this for a very long time. I have never been confident that JJ is the starter day one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Here's why. What has JJ ever done? He didn't even throw the ball in college. He didn't even throw the ball in college. Look, he did. He won a national championship. He knows how to run an offense. I think we actually could probably make a good Brock Purdy comparison here. I really do. But the reality is he didn't throw the ball a lot to have to read defenses. When you step into the NFL, reading that defense is so much different. I mean, the fastest player that you're going against under college is like the 7th fastest person like on a real NFL defense. So I believe Sam Darnold can run a system. This is the 49ers system. We just saw Sam Darnold in preseason. We've seen him run that system. He can run this system, dude. And he's got elite talent around it. So I really, truly believe if Minnesota actually wants to compete and try to make the playoffs, a really good move is to see how that offense looks with Sam Darnold for the first 3 or 4 weeks and see where that goes. And if it's atrocious, you're on to the future, and now you let JJ come in. I don't know when their bye week is, but JJ should probably be the starter by the bye week unless they're in playoff contention. But I don't know. Draft Capital says he's going to be the starter, but I think Sam Darnold's confident in this system. If it was not this exact system, I would not feel that way because I don't think Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. I just think he has enough to run a system with the best wide receiver in football, a good tight end, another good wide receiver too. So I think he can do that. This is going right along with my viewpoints. I have drafted Sam Darnold well before this news came out in so many damn best balls all across the board. If I'm in a super flex best ball draft, Look at, I usually don't want to come out with two QBs because I want all the other players. Like that third QB doesn't mean as much to me. But Sam Darnold seems like a really good one to throw in there. Like I don't know, late. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see on this one. But if I think about the weapons around this, I don't think this matters for the weapons as much. Actually, I think it is better for actual Justin Jefferson if Sam Darnold
Yes.
was a starter at the beginning of the year.
I fully agree with that. I fully agree. We can keep Justin Jefferson in the first round pretty early as well. That was my biggest concern. Just I didn't think JJ McCarthy would make Justin Jefferson worthy of a first round, and that's just me like hating if I'm being honest. So I'm very happy that we can comfortably have Justin Jefferson as our first wide receiver. And I'm gonna just personally say this: the situation in New England is a little worse, but I've seen Brissett just work things out to where if I couldn't get him off the waiver wire in a dynasty league, I'm very comfortable throwing a third at him. Now, here's the thing: I don't value thirds as much as Brian does, and I definitely don't value fourths as much as Brian does. But if you can get, oh my god, if you can get Brissett for a fourth, that is something that's kind of like a must-do move.
Yeah,
But if it can happen at this point in time, I don't know.
I got you. Well, everyone's making arguments on Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter because Drake May is not ready. Well, if you really think about those two teams, the Commanders are not playoff ready, but anywhere near that. So why? I'm not the Commander. New England. My bad.
The Patriots,
Yeah, thank you. But the Patriots are nowhere near playoff ready. Minnesota is, dude. Minnesota is actually a playoff
Exactly.
ready team. They just need to have a QB. So we're gonna see which one goes. But all right, read off number three, and then when you get done with that, jump into summer best ball. I just kicked it to you. You're on the clock.
Oh no way. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna speed through this real quick. I just want to mention that that 100% healthy boys. Joe Burrow, 100% healthy. Tank Dell, 100% healthy. Do not worry about the ADP. In fact, I wouldn't even bat an eye reaching for either guy because they're good to go, which is exciting because they're both absolute dogs in their position.
Yep. I've always said I think Tank's the guy to own in Dynasty. I don't know, but CJ Stroud said something last week that caught my eye. He said Nico Collins is our new Andre Johnson. Like, that's a very big statement. Andre Johnson is a Hall of Fame, one of the best wide receivers ever stepped foot on a football field. And it has really been making me draft Nico in best ball everywhere. And you know Nico was a very big sell high candidate in Dynasty for me. He still is because I think Tank's going to smash this year. I'm happy he's healthy. I think he's going to smash. I think he levels up this year. My only big concern with Tank is I also think Dalton Schultz is ready to have a big part in that offense as well from the tight end standpoint. So there's a lot of targets to go around. There's a lot of targets to go around. Is CJ Stroud going to consolidate those targets and start turning into a Matthew Stafford, or is he going to turn into a Patrick Mahomes? If he turns into Patrick Mahomes, Tank Dell's a smash. If he turns into Matthew Stafford, we just have to pick which dog it is. You know what I mean? But the Joe
Yeah.
Burrow news, man, that's great for me. I'm super happy. This is going to be a much better fantasy season if Joe Burrow is healthy in Cincinnati. I mean, look at those weapons, man, and all those.
And Joe Burrow goes so late. I mean, well, just so late to as to what you would expect from Super Bowl losing Joe Burrow. Just it's surprising. So yeah, at this point, all I want to say is don't be scared to reach. But if you can get value from him, that's amazing. All right, so our 100% not healthy boys, Keaton Mitchell is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks during the season, which is crazy. And even worse, Mike Williams from the Jets on the Jets has no timetable to even return. That's the one that infuriates me. I love Keaton Mitchell to death. I want Keaton Mitchell to be take all the time you need. Take 3/4 of the season. That's fine with me. You got Derrick Henry. I love Henry. Take your time, Keaton Mitchell. It's the big Mike Williams of it all. The BMW. I I love the signing, but like if he's just gonna be injured throughout the season, like no timetable to return. I need the number. I need the date at this point. I'm itching and clawing. Obviously, love Garrett Wilson, and Malachi Corley is looking sexier, but Big Mike, what's going on, man?
I haven't drafted Mike Williams once. Any of my best balls.
Oh,
I don't
oh,
run
you're
him.
done with him. I
I
like
don't run him on
casual.
any dynasties. He doesn't matter to me. Um, Look at as you get older, elite wide receivers maintain to do well. Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp. Your good wide receivers that are injury prone as they get older mean nothing to me. Like that's just like all right, that's not what I want to take a chance on. But the second I saw that headline with no timetable, my first thought was retirement. I mean, not like necessarily like right this second, but this probably would be his last year. And has he? This dude's been doing nothing but injury, surgery, rehab, injury, rehab, injury, rehab, rehab, injury, rehab. It's just been a consistency, and it's so sad because he could have been great. He could have been friggin' great if he stayed healthy. And there, don't forget, there's a reason that the Los Angeles Chargers said, "I don't care." They didn't even make an attempt to sign him, I don't think. I think they made an attempt to sign Keenan Allen, but I don't think they made an attempt to sign him. But my big takeaway of what you just said right there, we're going to do a bold prediction show before the season starts. And my number one bold prediction is I think King Henry has a possibility of breaking the touchdown record in the NFL for running back.
He's in the offense perfect for that. Oh my god. Dude, I'm not gonna piggyback or anything, but I am gonna root for it. Like I'm gonna root for that. Like that is such a great call. Bro, ladies and gentlemen, put the bets on it. I love it. I love it. That
I'm
wow.
rooting as hard for this as I was. How I want Tyreek Hill to break 2,000 yards
Uh-huh.
so bad. It's like you get these goats that have just, I mean, like you look down, how many championships has Derrick Henry won for people? Like, don't hate on him. You know what? Root for him. Root for him. He's done nothing but good for fantasy football. He's the, I mean, where would you, I mean, I don't even know. Let's not do this now, but he's definitely a top 10 running back to ever step foot on the field. I don't know where we'll rank him in the top 10, but he is absolutely a top 10 running back, especially when there's snow on those hills in Montana. He is the best running back to ever play the game. He goes above Barry Sanders when there's snow on those hills. All right, so what do we got? Oh, bring this one up. Let's go. Are we at 5?
Guys, this is one of my favorite ones because I dropped my jaw when I read this. Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is loving the connection between Russell Wilson and Pat Fryermuth. He loves it so much he's throwing around words like breakout year. I mean, Arthur Smith sees something in this connection. And I can't lie, when Arthur Smith says something about a tight end, I'm in. I want Pat Fryermuth, maybe even a round above, which is still, I don't know where his actual ADP is, but it's probably not great. I'm willing to jump that around. Because, I mean, God, if anyone has a connection with Russ, I'm interested. Because it's Russell Wilson. Like, he's damn near done himself.
So what I hear you saying is that we need to go by Daryl Washington. I can't remember what his first name is.
Oh, oh
And
my
Arthur
God, I
Smith
forgot
Austin,
about
we've
him.
got a Jonnu Smith, right? I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I can't buy that hype. I do like
You
Pat.
did that. Hold on, that was great.
I
That
did.
was great. That is great.
All right, Smitty, I'm going to admit something. And you know what? I really didn't want to say this, but I got to. I'm an open book. So
Okay.
I couldn't do this in any league that I'm drafting with people that I know. I've built some tournament balls and some random. I've been building a Russell Wilson, George Pickens stack, and Pat Fryermuth stack like no other. I really have, dude. And you know what? It's more based upon tournament style. I've been doing it more in tournaments because Russell Wilson's too cheap. Like he's just free. We're like, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm just so wrong and Russ has a really good year? That's like tournament style, like winning right there. And if it doesn't, who cares, man? He plays. Like it doesn't matter. It's fucking best ball. Who cares? But I have, dude. I've been drafting some Russ, and I hate every second of it. But what I will not do, and listen to me, everybody in best ball, I will not go out and draft Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I'm in a best ball league. I will take my guess on which one, and that's it. I see people do this like it was a Trey Lance, Brock Purdy thing. And like you just take an extra roster spot, and in best ball, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. There's a wise man we call the professor that told us on the Best
Yes.
Ball Kickoff show. This is best ball, guys. Draft like you're right. Who cares? It's best ball. Draft like you're right. If you're not right, you're not going to win the league. So draft like you're right. So don't have these handcuffs and all that crap. But Pickens, man, like I don't know. I'm thinking. I think that's going to be someone I might actually want to get in triple C. But secret, I don't know. Actually, I can't. No, I got to state it. But yeah, I mean, Freiermuth has shown good talent. I mean, I traded you a first rounder before for something stupid. I really needed a tight end, but whatever. I got my first back.
Oh
What's your
yeah.
thoughts on Pickens?
Pickens, you know what? My only positive thoughts on Pickens, because I mean, just looking at what he did in 2023, he was a diva amongst divas. Jesus Christ, this guy was like really not helping. I mean, because like I'm a Rams fan, right? So I'm looking at Puka Nakua block the hell out of a lot of defenders, and I'm just like, this is a guy. I love him just for blocking. And then meanwhile, over in Pittsburgh, Pickens like, my job's not to block. I'm a receiver. I'm a dog. I get the ball. Period. And when I see that, I really just get disgusted, frankly. But then we look towards the end of the season where he has spike weeks so nuts that it's like, I mean, he really can be. He has top five potential. It's just, yeah, I'm sorry, he has top 10 potential, and he really like he has to make up a DNA for it. But God, there's still a bit of work to be done. In best ball, I will take those amazing 2023 spike weeks. Translate that to 2024. I don't care what the round is at this point. I don't care if the quarterback is. I do worry if it's Fields. Sorry, but at the end of the day, those 5, 6, 4 spike weeks are gonna win a week, win the tournament even if possible. So I'm in, but I just don't expect consistency. That's the truth.
Yeah. Cut and paste the argument I just made for T. Higgins right there. I'm not saying
Yeah,
Pickens is as good as T. Higgins. I'm just saying spike weeks. It's going to happen. This
yeah,
one's cold.
absolutely.
I want to talk about this one. This
Okay,
one shocked me when you put it on here. I didn't see this one at all.
all right. I'm gonna do these really quick. So, Geno Smith is more comfortable in the OC in their new OC scheme. It's a more of a passing thing than whatever the hell they were doing last year. I guess that's exciting for more of the pass catchers. I don't know. It's just something. It was interesting. But the Panthers head coach says that they have a tight end friendly offense, and they won't have them block as much as other teams. He sees their tight ends as weapons. Now, when I think about who their tight ends are, they drafted Jatavion Sanders, so that's kind of cool. Then they have Tommy Tremble. Like, I really don't see like the weapons out of them as their OC does. I mean, as their head coach does, but I do now want to try to draft one or two, maybe. I don't know. And the thing is, I don't even know who to draft. Like, it's just an interesting blurb that he said, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's the Deontay Johnson gig. I think that's just the
Oh,
argument. I get it's tight end friendly, but more people running routes means that you can attack the pockets of the zone a little bit easier. Um,
mm.
so I do like that for DJ. But I want to spend some time talking about the Geno Smith news, dude. Where we can't just go by on this one.
Oh, yeah,
I
sorry, sorry about that. Just it's the Seahawks of it
no,
all.
but it's a particular point that I make a lot that sometimes the fantasy gods bless us with a window to be able to make some trades with some hype. And if you miss that window, it really hurts. So I'm going to take some time to talk about JSN right here. So if you want out on JSN, this is the news that you need to find someone that's read this first and go sell it. I'm out on JSN. You know I'm out on JSN. What he's shown is not elite. I get he was the number one wide receiver coming out of last year, but that was a really
Yeah.
bad wide receiver class. Cut and paste him into this draft. Where does he go?
Oh, good God. Second round, maybe.
I believe so because we're talking the Keon Coleman range, the Leggett range. He goes before them, but he's not one of those top dudes. So this is the perfect opportunity to go out and sell JSN because you can get out of him. There's still hope. He was a first round draft pick. Oh my gosh, he was number one wide receiver last year. Like, this is what separates the men from the boys in fantasy football. Don't get me wrong. I could be wrong. We're just your everyday Joes talking about this. But if you spend enough time making the right process trades throughout a portfolio, you're going to be wrong sometimes. But you're going to make your teams better as you go. Because news like this is going to come out on other players. Got to sell it. For the love of God, if we get a Johan Dotson, news like this, sell him. Whatever it is. So I just think that's a good one to go sell. But this definitely makes some, those guys a little bit more expensive, with is awesome. But I want to talk about this number 8. Falcons head coach wants to get the ball to Bijan Robinson as much as you can in as many ideal situations as you possibly can. That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy. But I'm hearing what's not in the article that makes me happy, Smitty. If they're going to legitimately use him like they use Christian McCaffrey, look out for a good year for Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I think this is better for them if they're going to use Bijan in the passing game more. Just saying. Just saying. But maybe this is Bijan's year. Maybe this is where he takes a good dominant stance of the RB1 for the next few years. I hope so. Look at fantasy football is better when we have a clear-cut number one. I mean, Christian McCaffrey has been that way for so long. Derrick Henry has been that way for so long. I don't want to go in a world where it's just everyone is an AB. And that's what we are, but we have just a limited number of workhorses. And just, come on, man. Let this be true. Let this be true. Let this be true. And there's no reason to go sell Bijan right now if you think you're going to go smash and win right now. I mean, you can process that all day long, but generational talents are generational talents. They need to be kept out of process when they're this young.
I fell to my knees when I read this. I fell to my knees. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2023, I gave up the world for this guy. And he got me negative 10 points in the freaking finals. Like, what the fuck?
Smitty, that trade was the equivalent of like 4 first-rounders, dude. I remember. It was something just stupid, dude. I sent you a text and I was like, Smitty, what are you doing, dude? Like, dude, you did that before the rookie draft, too, knowing it was the Bijan.
It was. God, guys, I love this motherfucker. I love Bijan so much. And it's like, I might tat these words on me, bro. This was fantastic. Oh, man, that was great. I'm so glad you read that, too, because I would have read it with, I don't think I would have got through the sentence, frankly. Oh, my God. Okay, here is a fun one.
But hold on. This right here is what separates Jahmyr Gibbs to Bijan. At no point will you see an article come out of the Lions training camp that says we are going to get Jahmyr Gibbs the ball as many times and as many ways as you can. That's not how they want to use it. So that is a separation between those two that I don't think it's an argument whether or not Bijan should be ranked above Gibbs anymore.
Well, you know what? I actually do have to. God, for someone who drafted Jahmyr Gibbs in a redraft that he loves so much, almost even like kind of reached for him. I'm gonna say this. I freaking love the way the Lions are handling Jahmyr Gibbs because I mean it's like the longevity. Like, okay, once God, what's his name? Once David Montgomery flames out, they're gonna keep this going. I assume they're gonna keep this going with like someone younger, right? I don't know, maybe Khalil Herbert. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Anyways,
Another back, dude.
They're gonna draft another guy, and he's gonna play that David Montgomery role. And all this does is just keeps Gibbs fresh for a long freaking time. So I say the argument kind of is still there a little bit, just for like longevity, dynasty goes. But God, I mean, if you really want to play a would you rather, if you're competing, I will say the conversation still kind of stands. Because at the end of the day, as much as I love Bijan, I would rather have the long term dominant guy. And then plus, I'm also imagining Gibbs to be this Kamara type when he probably isn't even going to have half of Kamara's career. Oh, I don't know. I'm just pleased with what the Lions are doing, and I'm incredibly, I'm just gushing over what the Falcons HC is saying about my guy Bijan Robinson. Okay, let's do some more running backs here. You know what? In the notes, I mentioned the guy's name that said this because I want him to look like the idiot, but I'm not going to do that. So, pretty much like towards the end of May, this guy said the running back situation in the Broncos, on the Broncos team, is a 45-40-15 split of Javonte 45, Audric Estime 40, Jaleel McLaughlin 15%. Now, in June, we're hearing things about Jaleel McLaughlin pretty much being the one, the clear one, and Javonte might not might not even get the 15% split. Like, it's so crazy how quickly Jaleel took control if the reports at the end of May were even true. So I don't know what to make of this. I personally think that this backfield is dope for best ball, ugly for anything else. And I would be willing to sell any of these guys in Dynasty, but in best ball, I'm interested in the latest one, period.
Yeah, I've been pretty vocal about what has Javonte Williams ever really done. You know what? He has hype coming out of. I'm so sick that we just hold value to players because of where they were drafted 3 fucking years ago, 4 years ago. Like, he had a good rookie year. He got injured. He hasn't done anything since. It doesn't surprise me, but I've seen reports that people are wondering if he's going to make the football team.
Oh my god!
I doubt that.
It's over.
I'm not buying that, but I have seen them. But the one thing that
it's over.
The one thing that I've been talking to Estime for a long time now, but people are not paying attention to another running back that got drafted this year. Blake Watson's a good running back, dude. Blake Watson's a very good running back. And you look at a lot of my dynasty squads. I got a significant share of Blake Watson as a I don't know. I picked him up on waivers after a 4-round rookie draft type of gig because I don't believe in Javonte Williams. So this doesn't surprise me at all. Like, I don't think Javonte Williams is a difference maker, and he's someone I don't want in fantasy football. And now you probably missed a window to sell him because news comes out like this. You missed that window that God gave you that people thought he was the RB1 of that team, and you could have got that price. You're not going to get that price now unless he goes out there and does it for 5 games. So, I don't know. I don't really think I care about their offense too much this year, except for Blake Watson and the running backs where I'm going 0 RBs. That's where I'm attacking. But I don't really want to deal with Sean Payton shit.
I'm gonna repeat some news I've heard from some other podcast, some other analyst. I don't know. I don't remember who said this, but they said that if you can sell Javonte Williams for a second next year, you can either get an easily replaceable running back, or the running back class is so robust to where the good wide receivers are pushed down into that second round. So yeah, just baseline, think Javonte for a second and see where the combo goes from there.
I would go as far as Javonte in a third plus something. Like just something.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Just something that I think I can get 3 games out of.
I like that.
Dude, if he's running back 3 on this team by the time the season starts, you won't even get a 4th one.
Facts. Yeah. Facts, and that'll break your heart.
All right, so I'm going to read this one.
Okay,
I'm reading this one. From Ganondorf to K1 himself. Everyone is ranting and raving about Marvin Harrison Jr. Natural talent, extremely detailed, does a lot of extra work. I fully expect our offense to be top of the league. Do you know what I have to say about that? No shit. I have done nothing but talk about K1 probably being the fantasy football QB1 next year. I've done nothing but talk about this offense. This offense is going to be electric, dude. Like electric. I mean, electric. Absolutely electric, man. Best ball, just go get a piece of this offense, man. K1's going to win a lot of people leagues if he stays healthy. A lot, dude. A lot. So, K1 in the draft, let's pull up Superflex League. Let's do NFL Jam. So K1 in best ball was drafted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. QB9. QB9. Please someone tell me while we're drafting Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott above K1, please someone just explain that to me. Why Jordan Love went above him? Why would anyone ever do that?
Well, I can slightly understand the Jordan. It's all potential, I guess. Burrow, I don't at this point. As much as I love the kid, K1 is healthily above Burrow in my opinion. The Love one is interesting. God, that I'm gonna have to sleep on that. Actually, I don't know, but in my heart, what I do know is, like we've spoken, and you even said a lot, smartest rusher in the league. That's important. That is important.
Do you remember how fun it was to own K1 when DeAndre Hopkins was on the team the first year and he was, I think, a rookie that year? When
no question about my favorite quarterback in the league at that point.
He had nobody to throw the football to. Everyone knew they were throwing DeAndre Hopkins. And he continued to just ball out. He's got weapons, dude. Michael Wilson, don't you sleep on Michael Wilson. We got ourselves a clear-cut number 2 wide receiver on that team. Like, some of the other ones I was talking about. But don't you sleep on that boy. He's not going to get 120 targets, but he's going to be a very usable wide receiver for this offense to even make it more electric. I'm pumped. I'm buying in. I've already been buying in. The only problem is, crap like, look, you cannot get Marvin Harrison's price any more expensive. Can't do it. So this isn't going to change that, but it is going to make K1 more expensive. James Conner, man. I mean, I can't talk. I mean, it's like I'm beating the drum here. Like, this is fantastic news for me. This is like you and Bijan.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna say this though. When we did our ranking videos, I did say Marvin Harrison is in my opinion, the number 1 receiver in Dynasty, and unfortunately, that news did not help it to the point where that news did not tamper. Like that news did not set me in reality. In fact, I now even more so believe that he is the number 1 receiver in Dynasty to the point where I would. God, I can't say this. This is not. Dude, guys, don't do this. I mean, if you do the research and you come to the conclusion I came to, because I'm willing to sell JJ for Marvin Plus, and if I sell JJ for Marvin Plus, I mean, what you're getting Marvin Plus. You're getting Marvin Plus at the expense of JJ, of course. I mean, if you sell I hate to be saying this because this is such awful advice, but this is something I would do because I genuinely believe the hype and I just know his situation is surprisingly better than the rest. Puka Plus, Chase Plus, Hill Plus. I mean, I already said it at the top, JJ Plus. I mean, if you can... God, I freaking love Mark. I haven't even seen him play a snap, and I'm just so in. I'm so in. And when he destroys the Rams because he's going to, I don't think I'll cry. I don't think I'll cry. I'll be like, ooh, there goes that man.
So not our rankings, but normal rankings. The that can't see into the future like we can. I would gladly sell any of the top receivers to the Amon-Ra St. Brown and a first. I would take Marvin a first. Absolutely. Marvin a first for JJ.
I love doing apology, bro. I do.
Yeah, I do that. I don't even think that's a question. I want the first. It's what I can go do with that because Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. You remember how hyped Jamar Chase was coming out of college?
Yeah.
That is nothing compared to what Marvin Harrison has been hyped at since he came out of high school, dude. If he smashes, He's there, dude. He's there. He's there. And you know what? If it busts, it busts. This is fantasy football, bro. We take our chances. We do our thing. And guess what? Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes a player just doesn't hit. Sometimes a player gets injured. So, I mean, just shit happens. But process. Give me that all day long, dude. I might even consider a second. And if I not a late, if I'm attacking a mid to early second, like a throw-in piece, like I'm attacking that, dude. Like I want multiple pieces there. Oh man, I love that. All right, last thing I want to talk about really quickly. Oh god, that sexy man, David Njoku's been at it. He's been at it. Oh, that boy's been at it. He's been hyping up the offense of the Browns. I can't remember the exact words, but it's kind of a look out what's going to happen under this new offense. Nothing can make me happier. I've been attacking a David Njoku everywhere. I was really on David Njoku last year in best ball. Don't you forget that, because the Njoku likely teams I had, those are all the ones that won. But love Njoku, love Judy for this. I love Amari. I hope Amari can still maintain the same performance at his age that he did last year, but the reality is maybe he doesn't. I hope he does. But I'm starting to really dig into this. And in best ball, the stacks you can build off Deshaun Watson are like tournament, like large, hundreds of thousands of entry. Those stacks are tournament winning stacks if they hit, and if they lose, who cares? Tournament. Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Move on. I like it, dude. I like it. So I think they're going to be very undervalued for a while now.
I totally get that. I think there are scenarios where you can draft Amari Cooper as a third. Actually, no, there's not. I'm sorry. I'm lying. But if you can, that'd be a fantastic third. Amari Cooper is a pretty sick second as well. It's just, a lot of people just have a lot of crap on the Browns offense because, I mean, they got it done with Flacco. Flacco's no longer in the building, so we just think of this as a crappy, creepy organization. Like, I'm sorry.
Dude, they were starting to hammer. Like, Deshaun Watson was finally starting to get going before he got injured. But I'm telling you, if you're going to build that stack for tight end and QB in best ball, they got a Week 17 matchup against the Miami Dolphins. That could, if Deshaun and Njoku hit that week. Oh my gosh, because you're drafting Deshaun Watson as probably like QB 20 maybe? I mean, I don't even know where he's there, but dude, he's so late on the QBs, even in Superfly. It's just like, that could smash, bro. I'm telling you, actionable advice, build those stacks. It's a $5 best ball, bro. Who cares? You're trying to win. Go for it. Who cares?
Yeah, I fully agree. Wow.
And by the way, I tell my wife this. She's like, why do you spend so much money on best ball? I'm like, here's the deal. I was like, I spend $10. It's a 2-hour slow clock. I really keep myself occupied for like 2 weeks. If I go see a movie, it's $20. So I'm actually kind of keeping myself entertained and saving money.
See, I've never thought of it that way. Wow.
All right. Hour 18 mark. Let's have some fun. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll get back on our A game next time when I'm a little bit more recovered from the surgery. But let's talk Father's Day. All you fathers out there, we should have said Happy Father's Day at the beginning of the pod. But you know what? Fantasy football comes first. Dads come second. So, Dad, Happy Father's Day. You got 2 people on this pod. We don't have children, so we're gracious to all you guys populating the earth and giving us football players. Thank you. Thank you. And for you dads out there that actually have an NFL star as your son, we really thank you for giving us all this. But Happy Father's Day. So we're going to take a second to talk about some music. And we're going to talk about some music that reminds us of my dad and Smitty's dad. So Smitty, I'm going to give you the mic first. You have a really cool song.
All right. So I want to set this up by saying my father's music taste was pretty much strictly Southern blues. Southern blues was his taste, and I hated it. I hated every single song that he would play. It would kill me because I'm not going to say they sound the same, but as a young kid, they did. They just had that. They always had those horns that would start boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-da-dum. Every time I'm like, when I hear the horns there, the horns are by Nightmares. I'm like, Jesus, dog, play anything else. But he was he was. I'm not gonna call him this because it's not entirely true. But as I was growing up, he definitely was a one genre man, and it was Southern blues. And so I just hated out all the stuff he played. I really couldn't stand it. But there was one song that almost cracked through, like almost broke through to me, and I don't know. It's Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker, Jesus. Anyways, Johnny
Johnny
Taylor.
Walker Blue.
It's Johnny Taylor. Last $2. I don't know. I think it was something about that man's voice. Because, I mean, let me just be honest. Most of the men, even women in this genre, they can sing pretty well and they know how to evoke the emotion that these songs require. Because this is the blues we're talking about. But just, when I was young, hearing him talk about the last $2, I always thought it was him. I'm like, dude, how did you put yourself in this predicament? As I got older, I'm like, oh no, he's feeling for a woman that put herself in that position because she was trying to catch her man potentially cheating, but she got wrapped up in the casino life and she just, she's now like a casino addict, degenerate, to where she's now like she just is asking for this guy who is just low key putting all this shade and pity on her. Say, hey dog, if you can loan me your $2, I just want to use one of those dollars so I can hear some blues music from the jukebox, then one so I can go the hell home. And it's woof.
People, you need
The
to
song is a guy like observing someone else and just making a song out of that. And so I appreciate that type of stuff. I really do. That type of stuff is what kind of makes up my taste now. Not necessarily Southern blues, but that type of storytelling. So I just want to shout out my dad for just banging that type of music all day, all night. That was his type of thing. I couldn't stand it, but I've learned to appreciate it.
So, people, you need to listen to this song. I'm telling you, I turned it on the first second. I was like, I jammed to it. I got right into the groove and the hook of that song within seconds, and that's very hard to do.
Oh, okay.
I listen to every genre of music, but I don't listen to the blues a lot. Like, I mean, I just, it's not my cup of tea. I'll listen to it. If I have to, like the Southern blues is a little bit better for me, I think so. But this song was great, dude. When you hit this out, I'm listening to lyrics on here. I was like, man, what is Smitty gonna like blast his dad on this? Like, I'm trying to like picture like borrowing $2 and like kind of being a degenerate, but yet like you're a really good dude because you're gonna pay this girl back, and it's all about gambling, and it's just I don't know. It was and it's got this old just like this hook, man. Listen to the song, trust me, and think of being a degenerate. But I love that you connected because it's just the type of music your dad listened to.
Yeah, and that was like the one song that I actually like remembered, and because just understand, I hated it. I hated the genre so much, but that one broke through for me.
Yeah, which I can see why it did, and it probably hit me, and I liked it because it's got a lot of some other music me and you listen to and talk a lot about in there, like just some good hooks in there. For me, man, like I've got so many. So my dad was my best friend, and so my dad passed away. It's gonna be 15 years this year.
I'm
He's
sorry.
my best friend. I love him to death. And what my dad and I would do is every Sunday, him and I would just jump in the car and we just go take a drive and listen to music together. And a lot of the love of what you see on my back wall, Beatles, Beach Boys, Bruce Springsteen, it was there. It was me and my dad just always spending time together. So that old school 60s, 70s music always reminds me of my dad. But there's some very specific songs, dude, that remind me of my father. Like very specific. So one is Pearl Jam Release. And that reminds me of my dad because I'm the spitting image of my father. Him and I are same dude. And all this song is about is his dad not being there anymore, speaking to him at the night, and all he wants to do is release his hurt and his pain of his dad not being there. And he's singing about finding his way to be exactly like his father, even though he didn't know he'd be there, but they're the same. And it's this beautiful poetic release my pain and thank you for giving me the gift of who you are. And so it was a cool song. The other one, any Beach Boys song, that was my dad's jam was the friggin' Beach Boys, bro. So I actually went to a Beach Boys concert right about 5 weeks ago, and I went there and I bought a seat next to me and I left it open because I took my dad to see the Beach Boys that night. And
Oh, that's beautiful,
yeah,
dude.
it was cool. But I will leave it with this. The number one song that actually, number two that reminds me of my dad is my dad had a lot of, my dad was like me. My dad had a lot of surgeries in his life, had a lot of birth defects in his spine, congenital things, same things I'm dealing with. And, I've gone through, next 2 weeks from now will be my fifth surgery in 2.5 years. My dad had to go through all the same process as I was a kid. And there's this Elton John song, and I'll tell you, I'm not an Elton John fan, but there's an Elton John song called I'm Still Standing, dude. And my dad in my life probably went through about 20 surgeries. It was pretty bad. But this song would come on, it was my dad's jam. He's like, fuck you, world. You could throw whatever you want at me. I'm still standing, baby. And I'm living that life right now, bro, these surgeries. And you know what? I'm still standing, motherfuckers. So, excuse my language on this pod. But, man, any other songs that would remind you of your pops before we get out of here?
Um, you know what? I'll do a double. My mother's music taste is vastly different. She's into, the R&B, the neo soul, the funk, that type of stuff. Those two connected on one fantastic purple entity, Prince. The one song that I remember those two like just straight up connecting with was When Doves Cry, and to this day, I mean, because that memory honestly came to me a little recently. I ain't gonna lie, but to this day, I have to do that song at least twice a month at karaoke because one for my dad, one for her, and it's just like I've never like they sang that song to each other, like, and it's a little weird if I'm gonna be honest because it's subject wise a little I don't know it may not be the greatest thing, but yeah. Then we'll talk about how they went to a Prince concert together and all this shit. But look, okay, I know this is about father. I just wanted to say, hey,
That's cool.
that's a song that remind me of them. Anyways, yeah, just shout out to them.
I'm a sentimental fool, brother. I love that, dude. That's why you sing that song. That's why you fell in love with Prince. And dude, Prince was. Look, we're doing Prince next week. But Prince.
Well, hold on. There's another artist you mentioned that I might think we should do them next week.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Who you want to do next week? Prince or the other one? You call it. I don't even know who the other one is.
Oh, the Pink Floyd. What about them?
I gotta leave it on this one. Holy crap, we will do Pink Floyd. So the night of my dad's funeral,
Oh,
I went to the karaoke bar and I sang Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here.
no, you didn't. Did you,
I
dude?
did. I did. Yeah.
I love it when people tell stories like that at the bar because it's like, because to me it's a party game. But when people come in there with intention, I freaking love that. They get a drink from me no matter what. Like oh my dude, what? I didn't know that.
Bro, I went in there, I was a little bit buzzed because it was after my dad's funeral. I was probably, actually, I was a little drunk. Walked in there, grabbed a shot of tequila, it was me and my three best friends. I bought us all 2 shots of tequila, hit a shot of tequila. Someone got done singing a song, walked right up to the DJ, handed him $100, and I said, I need to sing a
Oh,
song
you cut
right
the
now.
line. You cut the line, bro.
I
Oh
did.
shoot.
I literally said, "Here's $100. I need to sing a song. My dad just passed away." DJ put the song on there. I sang it. Me and my boys walked over, poured the other shot of tequila out, and left.
Oh, wow, that's hard, bro. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I do wish the circumstances were a lot different, but oh, dude, I love that.
Right?
I really do. Like, I'm really like so touched. I can't. I'm stunned,
All
frankly.
right. All right, listeners. We're dead smack on an hour and a half, man. You got to know the sentimental side of me and Smitty, and neither one of us cried at the end of this, which I thought I might just do. But we appreciate it. Calls to action. Tight end stacks, baby, in best ball. Go get them and bring them back. Cheers, Smitty. Anything you want to say before I hit end?
No, let's just enjoy the best ball summer.
Boom. Summer best ball, baby. Let's roll. Cheers.